Hi, my name is Zaid bin Yusop. Today I am going to present about online learning issues and challenges during COVID-19 pandemic, a case study at a private university college. The authors of this article are Mas Anum binti Abdul Rashid, Muhammad Noor Azman bin Osman, and Zaid bin Yusuf. The presentation outline for today is I am going to present about the introduction, problem statement, research objective, research questions, literature review, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. For introduction, the world has been plagued with COVID-19 pandemic at the beginning of the year 2020, unexpectedly starting from a few cases from Wuhan, China, spreading into a pandemic throughout the globe known as novel coronavirus. Since it has been the most effective way to control the pandemic, the Malaysian government took the same measure by announcing the implementation of the MCO on the 18th March. To date, this article is written with RMCO, Recovery Control Movement Order. The implementation label as the new norm has impacted the daily life of all Malaysians, including tertiary level students, where they are not allowed to return to their universities as all the universities were all closed from operation until they will be fully open in October 2020. Problem statement of this topic is the COVID-19 pandemic has created a new norm for the teaching learning process to embrace. Unlike being the H1N1 breakout, only a few universities took the measures of going online for the teaching and learning process. With the lockdown, the administration of all the university around the world would have to embrace online teaching as the main delivery medium to teach the students. In reality, this new norm will definitely pose new administrative and pedagogical issues to the university's administrators and lecturers. And academic staff has only a short period of time to critically engage in the theory, pedagogical reasoning, and learning design associated with online and distant learning. Research objective. Since the requirement of online teaching and learning has to be implemented at its fullest capacity, the research focused on exploring the issues and challenges faced by the students in embracing the new online teaching and learning norm. The main areas of focus are their experience and their preferences on the online teaching and learning itself. Apart from that, the acceptation of this overall online learning concept, the learning material, the learning platforms, and also the overall experience of online teaching and learning are being assessed. There are three questions that have been developed by the researchers. The first one is, what is the students' overall experience on students' online teaching and learning? What are the students' preferences in making online learning more meaningful? Number three, is the online teaching and learning concept being received well by the students compared to conventional teaching and learning? There are some literature review about this topic. Online and offline sources are flooded with articles, papers, and studies about effectiveness of e-learning. But considering the scope and usefulness of the topic, there is less research on analyzing the applicability or suitability of e-learning for the students. There are gaps in the existing research which may be covered through involvement of the views of the students and analyzing the effectiveness of e-learning with respect to adding value to the life of the students instead of focusing on just the technological aspects of it. Online learning has become popular because of its potential for providing more flexible access to content and instruction at any time from any place. It is imperative that the researchers consider and examine the efficacy of online learning in educating students. Online learning has become popular because of its potential for providing more flexible access to content and instruction at any time from any place. It is imperative that the researchers consider and examine the efficacy of online learning in educating students. In higher education, e-learning is gaining more and more impact, especially in the format of blended learning. And this new kind of traditional teaching and learning can be practiced in many ways. Several studies have compared face-to-face teaching to online learning and or blended learning in order to try to define which of the format provides. Example, the highest learning outcome, create the most satisfied student, or has the highest rate of course completion. However, these studies often show, show that teaching and learning are influenced by more than teaching format alone. Many factors play significant roles, and this literature review will look further into some of them. The impact of online learning programs, approaches, or specific resources as tools to enhance the effectiveness of issues connected to the teaching learning process, particularly from the perspective of teachers, student teachers, and teachers, educators, perceptions or experience. In terms of methodology, the main focus of the research was to determine the challenges faced by the students engaging on online learning practice during the COVID-19 pandemic. The research samples were students from a private university college affected by the spread of pandemic, which has forced the online learning approach to be applied. The questionnaire was shared to the respondent through Google Form, and a total of 371 students respond to the Google Form shared on WhatsApp. Since the research focused on determining the challenges faced by the students in an online learning approach, the data analysis was never aimed at being too deep into inferential analysis, rather just presenting the frequency analysis of each item in the questionnaire to determine the degree of the seriousness of each item. For the result, from the demographic, 376 respondents who respond to the online Google form. there are 92 male and 279 female. This made up 24.9% male and 75.4% female. The respondents come from various areas of studies ranging from the humanities, business management to computer science and professional studies. They come from different semesters ranging from semester 1 to semester 8. Students' online perception. There are three items for this section. They aim to direct the respondents' perception of online learning. Respondents were given the choice to select the appropriate response from the list provided from the three items. Item 1 asks the respondent view or opinion on the greatest benefit of online learning. And there are possible benefits. The first one is no traveling. It means that the teaching and learning is accessible anytime and anywhere. It is convenient, which means that the teaching and learning can be proceed without having difficulty. And the time has come for the teaching and learning to go online. There are 7 drawback point of view. The first one is difficult to understand what is being taught. Number 2, connectivity, which means that the located in the rural areas where internet accessibility is not very good. Number 3, difficulty to work in a group to complete the group assignment. Number 4, self-discipline. Students have to discipline themselves to follow the online lecture. Number 5, more additional work to be done, speed of connection, which are the internet connection, and also learning materials uploaded, which is cannot be uploaded and downloaded because of the size is too big. The last item for this section was the experience the respondents have while involving in an online lecture or class. Most of the respondents stated that it was very complicated and difficult, followed by it is troublesome. This seemed to correspond to the major drawback stressed by the respondents as stated earlier. Even though most respondents felt that it was complicated, difficult, difficult and troublesome, some of them stated that the whole learning experience has been interesting to them despite all the challenges they face. For the student, for this section, most of the respondents felt that online learning was not more effective compared to the conventional approach. From the total respondent, 49% fall under the category of disagree, while 37 were indecisive whether online teaching is better or otherwise compared to conventional teaching, while the rest think it is more effective than conventional approach. The statement of online approach does not apply to the student is further strengthened by the item where 219 respondents stated that online learning was less effective compared to conventional approach. On top of that, 199 respondents stated that online learning does not foster good communication between students and lecturers. This statement is further supported by the following item where 210 respondents stress that online learning does not promote greater student participation and interaction. Next result regarding the type of learning preferred by the students. From a total of 376 respondents, 261 stated that they still prefer the regular classroom setting. On top of that, if it were to be an online class, 180 5. Preferred delay or pre-recorded or asynchronous lecture. From the two statements, respondents actually preferred a combination of both methods for more effective. 171 respondents stated that they prefer online class just for discussion and tutorial. Only yet about 50% of the respondents prefer to complete their coursework online. Hence, respondents were indecisive on the completing of the coursework point of view, as some tasks are being suited for online, while some still require conventional approach. Even though most of the respondents tend to have a negative perception on the online learning, yet they praise their lecturer as the lecturer are very helpful in making their online experience beneficial. On a more general opinion, the respondents stated that they are satisfied with the online learning even though there are cons to the practice, and they do agree that online classes do require a strong sense of discipline in them to keep learning, and they prefer online examination compared to the conventional examination. Discussion and conclusion. Based on the data analyzed, it could be concluded that on the whole, the respondents do not favor the online learning approach, as most of them recorded unfavorable response in their feedback. Even though such attitude is being observed, yet this does not mean they reject the idea of online learning totally. So the good point of such practice are also recorded.